first, shoot first. If I bring.
Okay. This is Philly service announcement. PSA Takeover Tuesday. Tuesday Takeover. Love, support, and grace. That's a very important part of this whole thing. Love, support, and grace. We got social activism, resources, and art. So, as y'all can see, I'm Dolo. I don't like to be Dolo, even though, you know, I really feel like I could talk this whole hour. But y'all respond better when there's people on here. The show is definitely not about me. It's about the resources. It's about the people that come on here and the resources they provide and what to do with the resources. Somebody told me today, stop just telling people to have resources. You know what I'm saying? We got resources. We got resources. What we need y'all to do is when you hear these resources, when you see these people, what they doing, it's so many ways to get in contact with people. That's one of the reasons why we ask people about their platform, where they at tangibly. You know, if it's about housing, it's about reentry, it's about food insecurity. Please reach out to the people, call them, go on their Instagram, find out where these resources are so you can take advantage of them. That's very, very important. Find out what we don't just have the people come on here just to talk because we want to hear about their stories. Although I do like interesting stories. I love conversation. Conversation for me, and I've learned and I've heard other scholars, you know, I am a scholar, I feel like, you know what I mean? So I did my education, you know, upstate PA. So, but scholars have said that is the best form of education. To be able to just have a conversation with somebody and be able to learn. Yo, my dog is in the building. I know she's not going to try to poke her head on here and not be on the camera. You know what I'm saying? I talk about Erica. It seems like I talk about Erica Stewart every week now. Because, you know, she PSA family, you know what I mean? Social Impact Cafe family. I know she wasn't going to try to play the door, you know what I'm saying? And it's always a blessing because I don't, you know, we have, no, let me start over. I'm the assist. My right hand sister, as you can see, is not here, the queen, you know what I'm saying? She always taking care of queen business. So sometimes, you know, she has a few kids. She's married. You know, she on the way to getting her master's. She works a job. So when she missing, she doing queen stuff. Being here is an extraordinary thing with all the other things she got going on in her life. So, you know, she'll be back next week. As always, that's my dog. That's my right hand sister, the queen, Nick, Raw Cannon. You know, so it won't be no cannons coming in the building today, y'all. Unfortunately, I apologize for that. So we also have, I'm waiting for the brother to come. I'm hoping he can make it. He's a powerful brother. He talks a lot about treat your trauma. It's CEO Yamake. You know, he told me he don't live too far. You know what I'm saying? I don't give out people locations. So I'm hoping he can make it before the hour's up because the things that he has to say, you know, it's a thing where we talk about energy a lot. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I know Erica can attest to as well is when you put out a certain energy, that energy comes back in the type of people that comes around. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of those cats I just keep running into him. You know what I mean? We talked on the phone a little bit. You know what I mean? It's funny how the first conversation that me and him ever had, I was at my mom's crib. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I had been like supporting the brother on Instagram. I don't think I had ever ran into him up until that point. You know what I'm saying? And I guess he was following and seeing some of the stuff that I was doing, which I didn't really think I was doing too much at the time. And he just called me out of the blue. The whole time that I'm like going, you know, supporting him on Instagram and things like that, I'm thinking at some point me and his brother will run into each other, but we must have been thinking the same things because he just called me one night and was like, yo, man, I see what you doing out here. At some point we gonna have to link up. You trying to put things together, I'm trying to put things together. I see what you doing. It was just one of those times where it's like energy is real. We talk about it a lot, but energy is real. Let's go to brother right here. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let him introduce himself because we don't do introductions on here. You can't nobody introduce you like you know what I'm saying? So Erica Stewart is not getting away though, you know, because she is family and Nick knows she family. You know, well, he done jumped in Nick's seat. He ready to go. Like I couldn't even tell him not, you know, but you good. You good. No, don't even worry about it. You here, man. That's what's the most important part. You here. And it's a lot going on. I didn't even know Erica Stewart was gonna come through, but you know.
I like him, man.
Yeah, man. Okay. Look, he bring him out. He bring him out, man. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what I love? I love when folks like we post somebody, or we put somebody on a flyer, and other people let me know, like, or call me or comment or something like that and be like, yo, he gonna be on there, she gonna be on, that's my folks, I love what they doing, this, that, and the third. Like, the show is really about the resources that we bring on the show, the people who provide the resources, who can inspire other people to do the same thing. You know what I mean? That's a big part of being a resource as well. You can let people know who you are, what the resource is, but once you tell them like why you do what you do, that's really big, because you can inspire other people who may think that it's something crazy that you're doing that's so far off that they can't get it done. So a part of that, you know, being a resource is allowing people to know some of your story and why you do what you do. Now, what I will say is, make sure y'all got those phones on silent. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind you looking at your phone. The phone is people's lives. We're going to have a whole show about that. How phones create anxiety. You know what I'm saying? That never existed. I just got to put this out here before I let this brother introduce himself. And I'm going to let Erica Stewart introduce herself. Even though y'all know who she is, I talk about her like every week. So, when I was a young boy, you know, I'm a dinosaur and I'm cool with being a dinosaur. I will be 44 February the 1st. So, I take all gifts.
Yeah, that's a dinosaur.
I take gifts. I cash app, all that good stuff. Jarue lost February 1st. You know I'm Aquarius, man. You know we about to party. We about to. I knew it was something about this. I ain't even gonna put him on the camera because he ain't supposed to be on the camera. We don't even supposed to know he in here. But it's a cat that, and I knew it was something about this motherfucker that made me connect with him when I connected with this brother. But I'm gonna leave it at that. But look, man. It's very, very important that y'all send me gifts for my birthday. It's very important that y'all come to the show.
Yes, send my man some gifts, man. My man been out here grinding. He came home and he ain't been home. He came home and he been outside every day.
That one of the reasons why I was almost late today is because I haven't been home in so long and I had to go home and get some things rectified. So before I go too far in my tangent, and normally we talk about Worcester and Dairy, but we haven't been out there the past 2 weeks for a good reason. We got a lot going on coming up. Are we gonna be out there Saturday? Or are we holding everything up? All right, cool. Because I was about to say, are we holding everything up for Martin Luther King Day? Because I've already been asked about this Saturday.
You know my son been missing it. You know my son been trying to come out there.
Listen. I love our youth volunteers. Yo, these little people DM me, text me, use their mom phones. One of them told me, you don't answer when I call off of my phone, so I gotta call you off my mom phone. That's right. In order for you to answer. Listen, they all chomping at the bit. They moms is, you know, getting with me like, yo, when they coming back out there. So we will be out there Saturday, Worcester and Madera, food insecurity, serving our folks, serving the elderly folks that live in West Oak Lane and that surrounding area. Check on the elderly folks in your community that you know, your aunt, your grandaunt, your granduncle, your grandmom. You know, check on them. I know we talk about checking on each other a lot, and that's important. But we're able-bodied people. A lot of our elderly folks cannot do the things that they were doing. As independent as they may want to be and are at times, they still need us to check on them the way we talk about checking on each other as able-bodied people. So that's another big thing about giving out the food in Worcester and Madera. We really, and they love us, man. And I love them. I love doing it. Like, I love the response that I get. I got people driving by me in an area that I'm not from because I'm Southwest boy. You know what I'm saying? But I live up West Oak Lane. And I literally got people every time I pull up, and this is no exaggeration, ride by me bonking their horn. And y'all don't understand how that make me feel. Like, I know I'm doing something right because people not riding by grunting on me. People not riding by pointing at me for some nefarious reason. They're pointing at me and honking their horn and rolling down the window and speaking to me because they like, yo, you are somebody, you're of this community. You're doing something that we need, and we just want you to be appreciated. And it be enough, man. Because I be, you know, I get into my star shit sometimes. I be feeling famous. I be like, yo.
Got to.
Nah, but it's a thing about being, if we going to talk about fame and all that, being famous for the right stuff.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? And I do believe that people who take care of people should be given celebrity treatment as well.
Come on now. That's the new
you know
celebrity.
What I mean? So
that's the new celebrity out
before
here.
we go too far, Nick gonna be back next week. She doing Queen stuff. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? The brothers in the building.
Yeah.
Please allow them to know who you are, what platforms you on, where can they run into you tangibly. Just give them the whole rundown. People that do what we do, they got to spill. So I know you got to spill. So
you already know it's your main man, CEO Y'all McKay, Mr. Treat Your Trauma. You hear me? Mr. Security for Philly. It's Life Outside the Streets. I'm the founder and president of Life Outside the Streets. Our mission is to treat trauma through arts, education, and information. You can find me on Instagram at Philly for Real Radio, Philly the number 4 radio. That's a radio show on PQRadio1.com. Shout out to Glockaware Radio. You know what I mean? Thanks for bringing me on here. PSA on the PSA show. Yeah, I mean Philly. We doing our thing. So yeah, that's me. That's my name. That's my organization. We gonna get into details. I ain't trying to get started. I'm getting started, but
No, that's why I brought you on, cause I know once it go, I don't gotta ask no questions. Listen. I feel like I'm a ball that see this is what I'm gonna say about that. Cause I was about to say I feel like I'm a ball that talk a lot, but when you got something to say and you fairly intelligent,
come on now,
and you can articulate your points,
come on man.
Go on, talk, man.
Let's go.
Don't let nobody tell you being Joe. Don't let nobody tell you talk too much. If you got meaningful conversation,
yes,
you're able to teach, inform, whatever it is, or just make somebody's day by having a legitimate conversation with them. We need to talk more. Like I said earlier, I love good conversation. I don't mind a debate. I don't mind discourse shit. We can argue if you really do. We want to yell, and I get into that. You know what I'm saying?
Real men do it all. But it's conversation.
Listen, man, communication is so important. We need to communicate more, y'all. We need to learn. One of the things that I teach, and I know you do this, and Erica as well. When we dealing with young folks, one of the most important things that we try to have them learn is how to articulate themselves, how to communicate with people, understanding nonverbal and verbal communication. It's very important. One of the issues with our children is the fact that they cannot communicate what they're going through because we aren't teaching them. We're not having those conversations with them so that when they are going through anything, good or bad, they can articulate to the people around them what's going on. That would relieve so much stress. That would help so much trauma. That would keep our kids from getting in so many issues because they don't know how to articulate what's going on with themselves. And that's something that's taught.
I want to talk, after the Queen introduced herself, I want to talk about that if we can.
No doubt. Well, let them know who you is since you in the building.
Well, I'm here. I'm here for support.
Pull your mic down. Stop acting like you don't do all this type of stuff, man.
Love, support, and grace.
Love, support, and grace.
That's how we go. So I had a few things to do today, and the most important thing was to be here.
Come on now.
Because last Tuesday you helped me treat my trauma,
Ooh.
and I felt like I know about this brother Sion, but I had to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because that's a part of healing from your trauma, is to be able to see what it looked like before, after, and then when you tell somebody else. So I'm glad that you're here.
Hold on, tell them that part again. It's a before?
Yeah,
it's a before or after, and when you can tell somebody else what it looked like. So if this is what the trifecta look like, I'm here for support. I'm a living, walking example of what it looks like when you heal from your trauma.
Come on now.
But you got to be careful who you trust your trauma with.
You better know it.
This brother right here, he helped me so much last week. And I think about when you get to this point in life, it's bigger than money.
Come on.
It's bigger than drinking. It's bigger than ladies. It's bigger than so many things. So when you look at what it is this.
Yeah.
It's being present in the moment, showing support to folks, and just really realizing that there's a lot of people that say they can do it. Let me see you do it. Let me see you do it. And when it comes to the food, we get it popping.
Come on.
But we get it popping in a way where you don't feel like you're living in poverty for that 15 minutes that you shopping with us.
Come on.
That you can, have real life questions, and the opportunities that we get to offer people. It can be employment. It could be an opportunity to learn about Christ. It could be an opportunity to learn when I'm coming home from prison, who can I call first?
Come on.
But I can't offer all three of those. So when we work together, it changes the game with how we serve. And not politicizing people. Like, there's no elected officials involved. There's no, big grant money. We do this because we know it's the right thing to do. But in this year, we have to be strategic. We have to organize, and we have to advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. So I'm here just to be
Philly, we got y'all.
Yeah, I'm here for observancy today.
And just to talk shit, I gotta talk shit. I mean,
come
I
on,
come
man.
from a culture of talking shit as
Come
well.
on, man.
Yo,
let me let them know who the building. I mean, no Philly in the building, baby. Understand what I'm talking about?
About time we got somebody else in this joint except for some South Philly. It's like, no. I just told somebody on the phone. I said I talk my ish, man, but my closest friends, man, my closest brothers, is cats from down South Philly. Like it just
Oh,
is
shout
what
out
it is.
South Philly.
Southwest is what it is. I'm from Southwest, and I got dogs. I got cats that whatever from Southwest. But like, yo, not saying that they don't come from North Philly, none of that. I'm just saying personally, I got cats, man, and they come from South Philly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I talk my ish, and we ain't Geo boys at the end of the day anyway.
No.
Thorough cats is everywhere. I don't care where you at. They could be in Eastern PA.
Thorough cats
balls
and lane balls
Yeah,
everywhere.
exactly. They everywhere.
All
You know what I'm
colors,
saying?
all areas, all ages. Come on now.
But what I wanted to say before I let my brother get a little bit more into where he's at tangible and what his resource is, yo, we gave out $10,000 worth of food with no tables. After doing an event, I had 2 youth volunteers and Carlita. You know what I'm saying? You know, she gonna be around. This my folks right here.
Shout out
She
to
remind-
Carlita.
Listen, she remind me a lot of myself. It be just like, what's the mission? I'm about the mission, and everything that's supposed to come to me from the mission is gonna come, and I love that, and I appreciate it, because she helping me a lot, man. Like for real, a lot. She don't even really understand.
Shout out to,
you know what
to
I mean?
the queen.
But I will say this to her. It's about to be some tough days coming up. You ain't gonna like me. I'm telling you.
She got to. She love you.
You ain't gonna like me.
She wasn't be shy.
But it's about the mission, though. It's about the mission. So we gave out $10,000 worth of food, and I know that the women and the children that was out there really appreciate it. And we did it just from the muscle, man. Like, they dropped it off. It was unexpected, and it went down. And then last Thursday, same thing happened. It was more than $10,000 worth of food. Actually, what the brother Evan from Sharing Access told me, he said, yo, everybody that we was supposed to drop food off, not 1 or 2 people, everybody
They called me.
said, yo, we don't want it, or didn't return the call. He came, he was like, yo, I got like 1,000 mangoes. I said, listen, man.
I got some of them, John.
I said, listen, man. Exactly. I said, listen, man. Drop that joint off, and we made sure people got fed. I slept in a U-Haul on the strength. I'm telling you this story because I do what I do. So it ain't one of those things where I'm telling you this story because I'm gonna get some added props and that. Nah, people know what I do. Like, they know what I do. I got a U-Haul. I slept in the U-Haul 24 hours. No bullshit. I was giving out food. And got rid of every last. People got fed from North Philly to South Philly to Southwest.
I can't say we.
Listen, man, but you was a part of it. And that situation where I gave that food away linked me up, because this is how God works. So it linked me up with another major situation. I had never been down to Peace Park.
Come on.
My little brother told me, come on down, man. And I linked up with the brother. He like, listen, we need that food. What's going on?
Wow.
And then now that's a new relationship. Now
I thought you was already linked.
No, now we Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's a connection. Now we don't got to worry about. And we getting together to do refrigeration.
Come on,
because me and him talked about that, and he got a spot where we can make our own refrigeration.
Yeah.
So listen, man, energy is a real thing, and I said this last week. Everybody talk about manifesting stuff, and I feel like a lot of people are just saying
word
things.
For the year, though.
Yeah, everybody just saying things. It's just a new language. Like, narrative was a thing for a while, and everybody was saying the narrative, and the space was the thing. Oh, I gotta have space for this space. It becomes, language that's hip. Everybody's saying it. But if you really want to manifest something, love on some folks, man, and I guarantee you it'll come back. That might be one of my new catch joints too, dog. Yep. If you really want to manifest something, love on some folks, man. Love on folks, and I guarantee you, I put everything on it. It's gonna come back. Whatever you want, gonna come back, and I've been seeing it. So I ain't gonna get too on it, because I can get on the tangent. Like I said, I can talk.
Come on, man. Listen, love on some folks, man.
You know what I mean? But listen, man. Let them know where you at tangibly. If like somebody wanted to come to see you and be like, yo, I just want to have a conversation with this brother. And also allow them to know what your resource is, man. And don't be shy about it.
Come on, man. You already know I ain't turned down nothing but my collar. You ain't got one on today. You hear me? You hear me? So listen, I'm from Erie Avenue, 19th for Erie. Born and raised and proud. You can catch me at Vaux Big Picture High School though, down 24th and Master. Right now I'm contracted there to be a climate consultant. Doing like climate management on, through the hallways, restoring our children with mentorship, redirecting them with mentorship, and loving on some people. You hear me? And bringing order to the community. So I work with Vaux. Big Picture Philadelphia is a nonprofit organization that has brought internships to our educational world. So what I mean by that is at Vaux, at Big Picture Philadelphia, so they have 2 schools, Vaux Big Picture, which is a more traditional high school, 9th through 12th grade. And then we have El Centro, which is kind of for non-traditional students that might be aged out, or can't go to any other schools, or may have kids, so they go there, so they're just getting their credits and getting done. However, Big Picture, the organization, they're international, and what they do is they teach. You can get your diploma at Vaux Big Picture High School, but you basically your academic track is based off of your career interests or your future interests. So from 9th grade, they condition you for your internship and they prepare you. It's really developmental. So you in cohorts, they take you out and they give you what they call real world learning or real world exposure. So this might be a track, an entertainment track. So a whole class that's interested in entertainment, they'll bring the class down here. But by 10th grade, you do an internship. All your classes at Vaux, and El Centro, your math, your science, your English, every class, the teacher is instructed to tailor it to your vision. So let's just say for me, my vision, my mission is life outside the streets, to treat trauma in the community. So my math teacher, my English teacher, my science teacher, they have to connect whatever skills that they're teaching me to how it's relevant to my future coming to fruition, how school should be. You understand what I'm talking about? You don't got to wait for it. The old traditional educational system was a hurry up and wait game. That's why they couldn't keep us tuned in, because we hurry up and go gang. You understand what I'm talking about? So, that's a lot of students in class, they don't stay focused because the teachers aren't keeping their attention. You understand? And we still have some of the same struggles there, just because this model is so new. So the kids, the parents, and the teachers don't really wrap their mind around the difference. They still be moving traditionally. However, the opportunity is there. So if you're running a business, if you're running a business and you could use some help, if you're running a business, you can use some help. By the way, but if you're running a business and you recognize that you can use some help, and you are effective at communicating, you understand, and you are passionate about working with young people, you understand, because all of these things are important. Just ain't any kind of help. It is young people, and I don't play about my children, so I will pull right up on you, feel me? So don't sign up if you can't handle it, you understand? But so if you're running a business and you want to get some real help, because the young people is the workforce that everybody is looking for. You keep interviewing these adults that don't want to work. Stop. Focus on the kids. We run around trying to tell them chill, sit down, and fall back. But all of us entrepreneurs, and they should be here. Yep. You understand? All these kids that's running around doing X, Y, and Z, it ain't the kids in busted sneakers. It's the kids in Balenciagas. It's the kids that's dressed down to the T. You know what that tells me? Your parents is doing, they getting the bag, but they not giving the love. You understand? These kids that's out here running these streets is because their parents are neglecting them. They're not, parents don't want to take care of their kids. I'm 37 years old. It's my parents, it's our generation why these kids is outside. They not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. You understand what I'm talking about? We're fully responsible for what's going on out here, because what happened was our elders and our elders, they protected us from all of the poison and poisonous messaging we're getting through the media and everything right now. Right. They had laws in place. They didn't allow them to contaminate our mind. So now as a result, and they taught us to be cool, stay in school, and say no to drugs. Yeah, some of our parents might have been on drugs and all of that, but they campaigned out of it, right? Mm-hmm. So now we're all flourishing. We all winning. We all got money. But now we are treating our kids, the things that our parents didn't want to let us do, because we're young parents, we letting them do everything. So because we don't understand, those of us that still doing, I'm saying we as a generation, you understand, we don't understand that those things that our parents told us not to do is what shaped us. It is what molded us to be who we are today. So all these kids that's out here and neglected by their parents with bankrolls, shame on y'all. It's time to wake up. You understand? Wherever I'm at, you already know I'm running it right down. It ain't no rocket science. They talking about Don't nobody got the answer. Ain't nothing but pride. People want to. People pride don't want them when somebody like me or Jarue is saying this is the problem. Oh, nobody got the answer. Who are you? People open up with that. I can't stand that. What world are you living in talking about don't nobody got the answer when the Creator created everything? So you telling me the God that you pray to, that you go to in an emergency, he don't have the answers? He don't have no answers to what's going on out here? You understand? Don't trust nobody that talking about problems out here that open up with don't nobody got all the answers. Because they telling you right now, my pride is in the way because I don't have the answer. So I want to assume that nobody else has the answer. So now I'm going to put this hopeless message out because that's what you put out to the politicians, to the organizations, to the influencers, to the motivators. You understand what I'm talking about? Because a lot of them, a lot of your favorites, a lot of your peoples with those numbers, they open up with this. You heard them. You can't trust them. Want to know why? Because they don't know the answer. Everybody lane ain't their lane. You understand? Every lane ain't your lane. If you're a motivator, motivate. You understand? You understand? Treating trauma is directly related to violence. I know that because I'm a student of it. I'm a professional of it. You understand what I'm talking about? This is not nothing you're just going to know. This is not nothing you just going to know. Life, free. Shout out to my uncle Manny Strong. He locked up right now for life for something that for a murder he did not do. He's the motivation behind my whole entrepreneur everything since I graduated from high school. But I say that because he told me, he said, life is not a guessing game. You understand what I'm talking about? And you cannot navigate. You can navigate through life, but you will not navigate through life in peace and effectively off of hearsay. What's hearsay? What you heard your folks say. What somebody told you. You understand what I'm talking about? You have to study. You have to put your own research in on everything. I'm heavy on telling you need to study God's word right now. But I don't care what field you're in. Before you get on a microphone, before you go to a round table to talk about something, do your homework. So because what is happening right now is people not doing that. So that's why they so anxious and passionate about stopping the violence and causing these problems. So they're showing up. But they're showing up unequipped. So when it get to them, well, don't nobody got the answers. They really popping shots at everybody else at the table that might have an answer to discredit anybody from taking heed to it just to shine a light on them. I'm done with that. So but what I wanted to say to you was when you was talking about communication, you was talking about our children not knowing how to communicate. And I wanted to point out because they learned that from us. And not because we may not tell them, because we real good at directives. You understand? We really took on the slave master's attitude with just telling people and not showing people what to do. So we real good at, you shouldn't do this. You should know better. You need to go look it up. Ain't they teaching you something better than school? Didn't I tell you that yesterday? Yeah, I mean, we real good at that. But what we not doing is, let me show you. Once you see a person not doing something, you gotta show it to them. We gotta make our norm correction. We gotta make our new norm to correct with educating. Motivation is great. Motivation is a pep rally. It gets you worked up. It gets you excited, but it doesn't equip you. Education equips you. You understand, to tackle the task, to be able. They say, oh, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. Yeah, you're right about that. But if you teach them how to drink, you don't got to make them do nothing. What about that part? What about the part that you're supposed to teach them before you let them to the water? Y'all just want to keep leading them to the water and standing on these foolish sayings like that. You understand what I'm saying? That encourage stagnation. But what I wanted to say about more specifically about what we showed them is how not to communicate. We showed them when you don't have your way to snap. Might be snap your mother's neck. It might be snap your neck. It might be snap somebody's neck outside. But then we want them to be nonviolent though. You understand? I made a post the other day. I said non-violence. To end the violence in the community, you got to first end domestic violence. And I ain't just talking about spousal. I'm talking about how we talk to our children. I'm talking about how we talk to everybody in the house. I'm talking about how we deal with correction. It's all violent. It's violent words. It's violent tones. Violence is not only the physical. You understand? But people don't know this. You understand? You're not going to know this if you didn't study it, because they didn't teach it to nobody. The only people that are teaching behavioral health is therapists. Although we're all humans. What? And everything, let's think about it here. You go to school, they want to teach you about the planets. They want to teach you about the earth. These are all the different sciences you learn. Biology, they teach you about structure. They don't teach you about brain function, though. Ain't nobody in here had a course on brain function. But you want to know who the neuroscientists work with? The food and drug industry. You understand? The people that are manufacturing poison for your mind through the food, and then the drug industry that is manufacturing the medicine to play games with the damages that the food has done. You understand what I'm talking about? And every time you go to the hospital, you're just a lab rat. You ever been in science class? What they do? You're looking at an animal, you're poking it. They bring, like when you're in the hospital, they bring a group of people around you, look at you, take notes. Yeah, so you don't pay attention to this.
Exactly.
And we're paying for this. We're paying to be in a science lab, man. I just want to say that, that communication issue that they have is what they learn from us, because they watch us every day not communicate effectively with each other, especially us men. Let me say something to these men out here, you understand, especially from the streets. The most emotional suckers on the planet. They done ran around, sold drugs, robbed, steal, and kill, and some of them will still do it. But when I want to talk to them about what they not doing with these kids, they want to talk about who you talking to. What's up with your tone and all this goofy shit. You understand what I'm talking about? But you want to get all crazy when I'm talking about our community and get all in your feelings. You understand? When we talking about anything, niggas want to fight. You want to know why they want to fight? Like I tell my students that they be, oh, I'm about to fight. I said, well, y'all still fight? I said, only unintelligent people fight. With babies, before babies could talk, they threw stuff. They threw their passy when they wanted to eat. They threw the food because they couldn't talk. So now as adults, the people that want to fight is the people that don't know how to communicate. So they want to fight. You understand what I'm talking about? They want to fight because they can't think. They can't communicate. So instead of saying, damn, I don't know how to read, cause you niggas don't know how to read. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. The Philadelphia school district system sabotaged your future. You understand? The moment you can accept that, you can put your pride aside and learn how to read. I went to Girard College. That's why I created Life Outside the Streets. I said, damn. The only difference between me and my peers, because we all grew up in the same neighborhood, is I had a different curriculum. So I'm going to create an organization and make sure everybody in my in my city and in my life got the same information I got. I'm not going to be walking around with y'all having the same having knowledge and skills that y'all don't have, when the only reason you didn't have it because they chose for you not to have it. So to all the gangsters, I'm glad y'all motivational speakers now. I'm glad y'all running organizations now. I'm glad y'all want to do the community work now. I'm glad all that. But check yourself. Tighten up. Yeah, this because the word is out. Get out your feelings. The women is tired of it. The children is tired of it. And the real men are tired of it. And I don't tolerate it. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you talking about. I'm willing to deal with everything that come with this. So I'm just telling you right now, I don't care about your feelings. Y'all created this. You understand what I'm talking about? I sold drugs. We created this. People be talking about, oh, Meek Mill, these guys don't owe us nothing. Since when? They still rapping about guns and drugs and putting out this message that we out here fighting against every single day. They tell you they made their whole life. How I ain't never had a job. Ain't that what he said? I done went to jail. This is what they glorify. What are you talking about? You don't owe nobody nothing. You owe somebody your life. You know what I mean? Lives we destroyed. You know what I mean? Lives we destroy and continue to destroy because we still selling drugs. We still pumping. We still robbing. So for the record, why I be running down on celebrities, especially black men? Because we are the ones that's most in debt to our community. Most in debt. And if you ain't never broke a law, you still in debt. Because everything you got, God gave you. and somebody played a role in getting you there. So I had to get that out. Thank you.
And he taking his coat off. Yo, I'm glad I ain't the only one that be snapping. Cause sometimes I feel like I be on this joint, and I don't feel like I be going ham on y'all. But it just be like sometimes I understand what you're saying, and there's so many points that he touched on that I want Erica Stewart to touch on before I say something. Cause I know
let's hear from the queens.
something that stood out to you that you feel like, yo, yeah, I could second that emotion, if not everything.
I mean, it's definitely everything, and I try to think about what it looks like on an everyday for me, and it's the food. It's what we're feeding our children. Cool. It's what we're feeding our pregnant mothers. It's even with our seniors, because they come because we have it, right? But before we even share our food, especially on Saturdays, we triple check it. And what a triple check looks like, I check, the young people check, Jarue checks, or another adult checks, right? But what we're checking for is to make sure that we're not giving you rotten food that's no good for you. We're making sure that we're not giving you food that has mold on it. And it's a list of things, right? But what those things really entail are the quality of food and how people have access to it. And the young people that need to be trained, that are right here in front of our faces. That's how my program, the Social Impact Cafe, started.
Come on.
I can do anything and everything. And I take the scripture, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me, very seriously. I will do anything but cut grass and paint.
Come on.
So I have a choice. It's two things I'm not going to do. I'm allergic to latex, so I can't paint. Boom. Cutting grass, that's a whole nother breed. I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm going to just leave it right there. Yes. So I'll do a little bit of everything.
She ain't. I think you might have told me that
before.
Hair?
You see I'm trying to wear
it?
She said, check the layout. What are you talking about?
Yo, it's crazy. All this time I've been around this young lady, this woman, my dog. My fucking dog. I told you I wasn't gonna curse as much, but I gotta say it with emphasis. Like, this is my fucking dog. Right?
Come on now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know you was a Boricua. I
try to keep it. I try to keep it in the bag just a little bit.
No doubt. But what you saying is very, very important, and it goes to what Jan was saying, man. Like, I'm big on, even though I got to get back in the gym and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I built like 20 years of strong immunity.
Come on, yeah. That thing,
that food thing, I remember having long conversations with people about the war. One of the wars against our people is the food that we putting in our mouths, man.
Absolutely.
What they feeding us. We had the conversation about McDonald's and it not being real food and people eating it, and then it's like a cocktail when you talk about the hospital. When you talking about,
come on,
you living in poverty. You seeing trash, you seeing dilapidated buildings, you seeing mental illness, you eating bad food, you getting high, you got a poor curriculum. You know what I'm saying? It's like a cocktail that, and any one of these things can ignite you to go over. You know what I'm saying?
Like a Molotov cocktail.
Any one of these things that you think, and it's be like, yo, you try to go down the checklist, right? And I move you out the neighborhood. Okay, you out the neighborhood. I move you away from the violence. You away from the violence. The curriculum may still be the same, and the food may still be the same. And then you wondering why. Well, you got these things. Why you acting like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I bought you these nice things, like you just said. I make sure you eat whatever you want to order.
We thought the money was the fix.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot of levels to this. It's a lot of attacks happening. I just had a conversation with somebody last night about the whole like lab rat thing.
Come on.
Where she had this extreme situation where she had got with this is a crazy one too. She was 24, 25 years old, and they were convincing her to get everything taken out.
Wow.
After having her second child.
Wow.
Now, she was kind of leaning towards it anyway because she was having so many complications with having her first two children. But it's like nobody was stepping in and saying, yo, you're 24, 25 years old. You know what taking out your reproductive organs would do.
Come on. That's why
you feel what I'm saying?
Oh,
but listen, it went even further than that, because when they took everything all out, they didn't do it right.
Come on now.
Now, how did that happen? How did you not do it right? And then this young lady, who's not a young lady. Well, she's still a young lady. But then she has a situation, a complication where her body actually came out of her body. I'm not going to get graphic with y'all, and she almost died. And while she's in the hospital, it's something they never seen before. But they told her, once they sold her up And a point that she made to me that was so crazy about having agency over your body, and when you lose that, you know what I mean, and being up. My brother definitely know anybody that be upstate. It's a form of losing control over your body, losing agency.
Come on.
And then the brother came and told us the same thing about recovering. You know what I'm saying? And how hard that was. People so hyped that he survived, but he like, yo, you know what I gotta go through to get back?
Come on now.
When they told me I'm not coming back. They told me you alive, but you just alive at this point. And then he had to fight to come back. And then she explains to me, she was like, yo, do you know what it feel like to have people walk in the room, like you just said, look under, and be like, oh, and put the jaw back down. You don't know what's going on. And then they got the other thing going on where they think black women or people of color, we can take pain more than everybody else. That's still a real thing in the hospital, y'all. They really still do think that we can take more pain because we black.
Oh, they know it.
So she just so happened to have an advocate who was a white woman from her job, because everything happened at her job, and she had to step in and say, when is y'all, this woman's body is coming out of her body, when are y'all going to give her something for the pain?
Come on, man.
Now mind you, she going in and out of consciousness because she dying, you know what I'm saying? And if she wouldn't have had this, y'all still got this woman sitting there in pain. Something y'all never seen before, but nobody's thinking we need to give her some morphine or we need to do something. It had to be a white woman who was her co-worker that peeped and was like, yo, is somebody going to give this woman something for the pain? And then but she remembers all this. And then she remember them saying the decision going to be 2 inches. She got a joint when she wake up. It's from her navel all the way between her chest. This is losing agency over your body, and you in here and they treating you like a lab rat for a variety of reasons.
And charging you.
And it just, exactly. And
don't
then
forget that.
The other part was when she asks them, so is everything fixed? They like, we quite certain that you're not going to have this.
They don't got the same energy they had when they told them to do it.
Exactly. They ain't had the same energy. And it's like, so now this woman, this queen, really looking at it like, I don't know what they did to my body. And I'm still recovering from it. And I'm saying it's just one of those things where we really need to pay attention to the levels of this, man. We really need to pay attention to, because what this brother just was talking about is all the different levels that our people and people of color are under attack.
Come on.
And we need to be mindful about what we're doing ourselves, and that starts with your kids. If you're going to check out of the whole situation and say, I don't care, I'm going to smoke, I'm going to drink, if I go to the hospital, whatever they do to me, whatever, you know, because I used to hear people always say, you're going to die from something, you're going to die from something.
Come on, man.
And I'm like, damn, what happened to quality of life?
Everybody on suicide
I know
watch.
we're going to die.
Right.
But now, everything like you just said, and everything like Erica said, we imparting on these kids and then acting like nobody got the answers. You dig what I'm saying? Because we don't want to take responsibility for dropping the ball. That's another conversation I've had with a lot of brothers. Anybody that be on the show with me,
all these
see me talking on the show, I always point to myself and other brothers and sisters my age to allow it to be known we dropped the ball. When I say come outside, stop standing on your porch talking about he bad, she bad, I don't know why they did this. No, you need to come outside and infuse yourself in a conversation, because it happened under your watch. It happened under your watch. The same way I can say things about my mom, things she didn't do, things my dad, how everybody from my generation be like, my dad was this, my dad was that. Okay, you the one now.
Yep.
Because this generation, you the one. So if you can, and I know cats that's in the house with their kids and still ain't in the house with their kids.
Come on now.
I know cats who, for all intents and purposes, trying to do what they supposed to do by their kids, but you spoiled them until they became bums. And that's something that you got to look at. Because what you said is true. Being at our day, I've been around a lot of young boys who parents is financing everything. So now we got to ask, how you get into this trouble? Who wasn't watching you? Who wasn't checking your room? Who wasn't seeing who your friends was? Like, one of the things my mom used to do that I appreciate so much is, yeah, they could come to my house because I want to know who they are. I'm going to stop trying to say don't hang with him, don't hang, because that's just going to make me go down there anyway. Stop being in that crack house. Stop being your man in them. Yeah, that's my man in them. I'm going down there.
That's the lazy route.
Right.
That's the lazy route. Like you said, the parent route is, oh, let me meet the parents.
Right.
Let me meet the young person. The lazy route is, oh, no, can't nobody come in. And you better not go out
kids
there.
out there, and I'm again, the come outside thing is big for me because you had them. Another thing that has happened to our people, and I get it. I know why. Listen, man, we've been through a lot, and we gonna keep going through a lot. But like you said, we gotta inform ourselves to be able to defend ourselves.
No, we spoiled, man.
This the other thing though. It's become okay to allow the system to take your kids. And this what I mean by that. And it's a lot of parents, it ain't intentional. It's like everything else. It becomes culture.
They need a parent jail.
I hear
Real rap, you get your kids took, they gonna take the kids and you need to go to the
I hear a lot of people be like in the court, in family court. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing with them. I can't. Did you run the street with them? Did you, when you knew they was in XYZ, did you go there at 3 o'clock in the morning and get your baby? When you knew he was over his man crib and he was on this corner and she was at this ball house, did you get your ass out the bed and go get your babies? Because you had them.
Parent jail.
You had them. But soon as it's like, oh, they just so out of control, you let the court take them. You know what I'm saying? You letting these babies go into foster care.
And worse stuff happen.
Because, and then my thing that be tripping me out is, you let this happen, and then you in the club, then you out partying, then you on Instagram, you just living your life, and that makes me, because you ain't hurt by it.
Come on.
You let things go on and on and on until it was like, And I'm not saying this is for everybody. I know certain people are just in situations where it's like, yo, my mental health is not even right. I don't know what to do.
Get help.
And they give you the option, though. They don't give you the option to get help. They give you the option to relinquish.
No. God gives you the option to get the help. I don't care what they talking about. we not even gonna play those games. We don't even respect them. We talking about what they gave them. How you gonna keep talking about?
Listen, they respect the system when it gives them the out.
But that's what I'm saying.
You understand what I'm saying? When it gives you the out, you respect the system. The white folks is the white folks until they give you an out, and then it's like, I had no choice. Exactly.
Yeah, you become the liar listening to them.
Yo, that's crazy. I had no choice.
Come on, man.
The white man was the system, Mr. Charlie. I'm just fucking.
Even the people, they don't got seriously. Even people that call the police on people, they be like, they call the police on their own family. They say, I had to get them help. Who else I can call? And that's what they say. Then when people end up there and dying, I didn't want them to kill them though. But why you call the police?
Right.
Exactly. It's kind of like you just let things happen until the point where you can say that, instead of actively giving up that time. Instead of actively giving up that time to make sure that your house is in order.
And to your point, and to their defense, life is not a guessing game. Children don't come with a manual. You understand? Just like money don't make you smart. To be like, oh, why you got all that money? He did that. Money don't give you brains. Nope. Kids don't give you brains either. You have to study. Whatever you're involved in, you have to do your homework. You understand what I'm talking about? These people are running their agenda. We're part of their operation. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. My thing is, why aren't we, and I'm talking about those like myself that know what we know, why, not even why, I know why. It's time for the fear to go. I'm not coming up here asking no questions you already been asking. I'm coming up here with all the answers.
I like that, John. No, I like that, John, because I tell people, I've been telling people for a long time, my brother, I always lean on my folks. They vouch for it. We have a healthy fear of white folks that we don't want to, we want, everybody hard as shit.
Not healthy, though.
And listen, I'm talking about.
You can't associate that with health.
Listen, man, I'm talking about, when I say healthy, you know, like it's prosperous, it's fruitful, you know what I'm saying?
For them.
Yeah.
All right, we talk about us. We got a toxic fear of
white folk.
Because that's I'm telling you, it's misleading. We could be, when we using the wrong words, and it ain't white folks. It's the devil. He used a lot of white folks. But that's another misleading, because people keep talking about, you big on this. I'm not. Right. I'm only big on him. It's only two people out here. The people that's riding with God and the people that's riding with the devil. And they come in all shades and colors. You understand what I'm talking about? So that's what's going on. We have a toxic fear of the devil because you don't know God. It's a difference between knowing God and knowing of God. So let me break it down to you. When you pray and you heard of him and you call on him, you know of God. You understand? You only know what you study. So when I ask you, well, when the last time you studied, and you say, I pray, you don't know God. You don't know God like you don't know that broad or that dude you lusting at on Instagram. You understand? Same way you don't know them or you think you know them, you don't. You don't know anything until you study. The only things you know is what you study. And y'all not studying God's word out here. Y'all rhyme with everything. Somebody bring up God. Oh, here we go. Here we go with the God. But you rhyme with everything else. You will either fight for it. You know, with all due respect, you understand? Sin is sin. Point blank, period. Sin is sin based off of what God's word says, and I stand on that. But one thing I'm about to say respectfully to the world is we God-fearing people campaign and endorse the LGBTQ's agenda. You understand what I'm talking about? They have, oh, don't talk to that person like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. They won't do that for a kid that's struggling with trauma, that's dealing with violence, that's been abused. They don't stand up for them like that. So what I'm saying, the point that I'm trying to make is we even take a stand and fight for sin. It ain't about the sin being sin, because selling drugs and being gay or stealing, it's all in the same boat in the eyes of God, if you believe in God. You understand? So it's not about what's right or wrong. But the one thing is, when it comes to that, nobody's out here encouraging you to be a thief. Nobody, you understand? Like, it's not an agenda saying, yo, you need to be a killer out here. You need to be selling drugs out here. We need to teach the kids in kindergarten how to smoke crack out here. That's not what's happening. You understand? But I want to point out, it's not to attack them, it's to point out how lost we are, how much we are standing for sin as a people. You understand? That's what it is. We got to get back to people don't know God, and we're lazy, and we know it. That's all it is. Disobedience comes with consequences. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with the 10 Commandments, but I'm going to give you a quick snapshot. He says, if you don't serve me, he said, God says that he's going to curse everybody in your family and for 3 and 4 generations. Well, why the babies dying? They didn't do nothing. Well, what's their parents' relationship like with God? What's their grandparents like with God? Oh, they go to church, they pray. I said, what this is a relationship. When you in a relationship, you spend time with a person. You spend long hours with a person. You spend deep time studying and learning a person. You understand what I'm talking about? What's the relationship? Because what God says is, your disobedience, I'm going to curse your kids. Oh, kids don't know that. Because they be cussing their parents out about not having a relationship with God. Oh, you got me in the jam. They stand up for what they believe in. Believe that. But then what he say? He said, but for those who love me, I will bless them for 1,000 generations. See what I'm talking about? People, when you talking about the sister and her body, you want to know why she turned her body over to them? Because she didn't know God. She might have knew of him. I know she did, because she prayed before she hit that table. But she didn't know him, because if she knew him, she would have knew that no matter what they said, they don't have no final say about anything that got to do with her. They don't got no final say. She would have knew, yeah, I could use these doctors and their equipment as a resource based off of what I research and discuss with God, but that's as far as it goes. Because in his word, he says, as you seek me, as you seek. See, it's a lot of misleading out there that think you got to arrive at a place with God. God gives you the blessings for looking for him, for searching, for studying. You don't even got to believe it. For studying, he said he will heal your whole body. Did you know that? Did you know that? He said no disease will take you. Did you know that? Did you know that? No, they don't know that. It's no way you're going to know it. And don't trust me. You better pick it up and read it for yourself.
It's an instruction manual.
No, it ain't no right way to do it out here.
It's
Basic instructions before leaving.
it's an instruction manual. And we had a conversation, saying amongst the brothers when we was explaining, like, it's for me, and I'm always going to stand on this. It's your relationship with God.
Come on.
It's your relationship with God, and that comes from study. That comes from study.
Please study.
That comes from study. That comes from reading. Like, what is your relationship with God? That's what I ask people. Cause we can get mixed up on, well, what did this person say in this scripture or this ayat or whatever it is.
Come on.
And my thing is, it's your personal relationship with God.
Do you have one?
It's life behavior and it's anti-life behavior.
Come on now. Ooh. So run that back, because
It's
there's some people high out there. You got to run it back.
It's pro-life and then there's anti-life behavior.
Ooh.
And I move with pro-life behavior because the purpose, when people be like, they don't understand what the purpose is, I don't understand what the purpose is, I don't know what the purpose of life is. From what I understand, what my ancestors put on me, what God put on us, it's things that you do that sustain and promote life.
Come on.
And it's things that you do that ends life.
And in both of those same categories, they don't change. It's things that's going to send you to heaven, and this thing is going to send you to hell.
So that is always my thing. I'm not pro-life as in with the agendas, because I like to make that part known about agendas.
Come on.
People, you may think, oh, he's talking about this community, he's talking about these people and this, that, and the third. We talking about agendas. And what agendas are trying to do to people.
Come on.
Who's behind the agendas? What do they even think? And are you doing enough information? Are you doing enough studying to understand that? Don't get caught up in the emotional part of it for me and you to be arguing and debating about something that's at the end of the day controlling us. And controlling us in a negative way. I'm talking about, and I know this with the brother talk, agendas. I don't gotta, defend anything that he says, because he's gonna say he's there. I'm around. I'm willing to debate or whatever we want to do about it.
Listen, you already know it's gonna go down.
Again, man, this thing, the purpose of this thing is to promote and sustain life. One of the points that I give to people a lot about that is, why do you think sex feels so good?
Come on now.
Seriously.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you. You know why?
No.
Because the purpose of sex is to reproduce.
Ooh, right.
It's not necessarily for. I mean, you can have fun, or you can do what you do and all
God
that.
was looking out for us. He
But
encourages.
the purpose that encourages you to want to reproduce. Now we could turn it into whatever we want to turn it into. But one of the reasons why it feels so good, there's no feeling like it anywhere. You can't get it from eating, smoking, watching TV, listening to music. It's no feeling like it. The reason why that feels like that is because the purpose is to promote and sustain life. And that when we turn it into other stuff, this what you get. This what you get. You get all the craziness. You get all the other stuff that comes out of. That's just one example of pro-life behavior and anti-life behavior.
Yep. Can I add something to that?
Mm-hmm.
And if I may, because I'm going to say a term that I feel like is necessary to add to it, is that the pro-life behavior is what God calls obedience. Because all behavior, he has mapped out what to do to be in right standards with him. The anti-pro-life behavior is what he calls disobedience. You understand? And that comes with consequences. Disobedience comes with consequences. Obedience comes with blessings. I'm saying that to say so that you see, people don't understand when you're out here doing what you want to do. You're not just saying F the United States government. Who gives a damn about them? You're saying F God. See, I got to put that in perspective. You understand? It wasn't in perspective for me. See, when we're not using the right terminology, people think it's cool. See, if I say, damn, you acting like the devil, people gonna get offended. Who you calling the devil? Right? Real rap. Oh, man, you the devil. You a devil worshiper. People gonna be like, who? They gonna get all worked up. But when I break down, stealing, lying, drinking excessively, and break down all the things that God said is evidence that you're worshiping the devil, then you go, oh, shoot.
Let me ask a question, and this is going to be purposely, because we got a little bit of time, and you definitely going to come back. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got to come back.
Oh, man, listen.
But I want to ask a serious question.
Come on, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I came here for.
You say he a lot.
Yes, I do.
When you talk about God.
Yes, I do.
Are you sure it's a he?
Absolutely.
Okay. Give me a little bit.
I'm sure because I trust my source. So my source is the Bible. You understand? However, I do believe that the Quran is from God too. I haven't studied it as much, but however, everything that I've been exposed to in particularly my Muslim brothers and sisters, they let me know that we serve the same God. You understand? And people has caused confusion. So in those scriptures, they refer to God as a he. But dig this. God refers to wisdom as a she. And when you read Proverbs, he says he birthed the earth through wisdom. Everything came through wisdom. So they're both covered. He and she. That's what you was worried about. It's covered. You gotta study, bro.
Yo, listen.
Gotta get your study on. What's wrong with him?
It's his very. It's his.
That's why you gotta study. You might get a question. You might get a question out here. What's up, man? You might get a question out here. You understand what I'm talking about? You want to know what God says about she? He said nothing is worth more than wisdom. God says, and that's why I don't play with women. Because I said, once I learned that, I said, oh, wisdom is a she. I will never play with them again. You understand what I'm talking about? This is why we can't get enough of them. God said there is nothing that you will get that is worth more than she. He said her wages are worth more than gold. She got rubies in one hand and the riches in the other hand. All of her paths are delightful. You understand what this is what God says when you learn that. You want to know what else he says? He says, do not lean on your own wisdom. He said that's evil. He associates our own wisdom. I thought. He said that is evil. He said your own wisdom. He said lean not to your own understanding. Stand on everything I tell you to do. And see, once you study, see from afar, because we were so damaged from the structure of this educational system, we don't like to learn. So when somebody's saying go study, lazy. You understand? It's not even that. We're triggered because we were raised in households with walk, do this, do that. So you don't want to learn. Why would I want to learn when all my teachers were yelling at me, put me down, from my mother to my teacher to my job? I don't want nobody else telling me nothing. I get it. So now when somebody like, oh, you need to go read and listen to what God says, oh man, now you want me to, God about to tell me, and they think that he's going to put you in this box. They think that he's just going to have all these rules, and he has rules, but the way that he just shows them to you, you still got your choice. But what you're going to find is, this is what I found. So I got locked up at about 27, right? And it was during that time that, you know, I at this point, I went to Girard College. I've been saying the Lord's Prayer. They used to allow us to pray and tell us to pray every night. So I'm just saying, I went there at second grade. So at this point, I done said the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I done said that thing all the way up to 27. I'm in there doing a Bible study, and it was on forgiveness. And he used that prayer, and it pointed out a section. It said, I said the prayer the way that, you know, the terms that they use, the synonyms that they use when I said it was, forgive us of our debts as we forgive those that have debts against us, or forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. But when they taught me the lesson of forgiveness, they defined it, they didn't change the translation. All of those words mean the same thing. It's called a synonym. Some of them are a little deeper, but they used the word forgiveness. It said, forgive us of our sins as we forgive those that sinned against us. I say, hold up. My sins being forgiven by God are contingent upon me forgiving not just somebody that might have made a mistake and sinned against me, somebody that intentionally sinned against me. I'm not going to hell for these niggas. You understand what I'm talking about? That's what went through my head. Yeah. I said, you mean to tell me? And then it talked about what unforgiveness does to your behavior. Unforgiveness makes you lose trust. It makes you not trust nobody. It hardens your heart. It makes you angry. It keeps you on edge, because that's what happens. We get it wrong. Oh, I ain't never letting this happen to me again. And we get this whole negative. And when I read, I said, wow. That's what I became. I'm booked now. I'm booked, so I'm reflecting. I'm like, damn. Like I know what turned me into that thing. It was people close to me that did me wrong, that turned me. You know what I'm saying? Family, friends. So I knew how it evolved me. So I knew it wasn't a lie. It didn't matter who wrote the book. I looked at myself. So it was like, wow. So there was like, I already told you. I said, I'm not going to hell for them. So I started. This was the first time I had a real conversation with God. I said, oh, glory, I did this, I did that. Please forgive me for that. And it also said, yeah, well, if you can, I apologize to them. When I came home, girls I was dating in high school, yo, what's up? I apologize for being disrespectful. They talk about, boy, we was kids. I don't give a damn. Wrong is wrong, right is right. You understand what I'm talking about? I'm not going to hell because I cussed you out as a teenager.
Yo, he definitely got to come back because we got a lot of conversations to have. I love the energy. I appreciate Erica coming up for support.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Queen. I talk too much. I like to hear from the Queen, man. Wisdom over there. I'm sorry, y'all.
We lined it up for the next joint. Listen, this is PSA Philly Service Announcement. Love, support, great social activism, art, resources. That's what we doing out here. Now. I'ma holler at y'all.
Let'sHealPhilly.org, man. Check me out.
Yeah, he definitely gotta come back.